Hey, did you listen to the recent Joe Rogan episode with Mikey Musumeci?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about his diet?
It's hilarious.
It's just pasta all the time.
What's interesting, though, is...
So say what it is.
So it was hilarious. But I don't want to completely crap on it, okay? Because I'm going to tell you why. So basically what he does, he eats once a day. Mm-hmm. And he says he eats pasta and he makes his own pizza at home. He has a pizza oven. He's really into it, super excited about it, which I think is cool. But he doesn't eat the entire day. So he does basically an intermittent fasting, which has a ton of benefits for insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, all kinds of stuff like that. He also, if you listen to it, the quality, he actually gets his pasta imported from Italy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people have said this anecdotally, when they eat that pasta, they don't feel near as bloated as some of the processed stuff we have. Some of it has to do with the wheat itself, the amount of gluten in it. There's probably a ton of factors that go into that. But he has very low stress. He loves what he does. He trains a ton. Mm-hmm. And then he eats what he likes. I would argue that there may be some nutritional things he might want to supplement.
Sure.
That he may not be getting.
Can you really eat that much protein in cheese?
Yeah,
That's even quality protein.
Yeah, I mean you can get a good amount, but probably not to sustain what would be he's getting by fine, and he's a world champion. He's a phenomenal jiu-jitsu, but I would argue that he could probably be optimized even better, especially when he gets older. As he gets older,
because he's 25 and 130
exactly.
pounds.
And I think that if he added a little more protein into the pizza, or had some and he says he does that sometimes, add some seafood into the pasta. Right. I think that would be, and making sure he's getting some long chain omega-3s. B12, depending on how little meat he could be an issue too. There's a couple little holes in there, but honestly, it's the way he's getting, it's the amount of activity, his age, and also I would say that I'm speculating, I bet you his gut microbiome has become very efficient with this diet because he's eaten this way for a long time, as far as in general.
Right.
And he's happy with it. Mm-hmm. He made a very good point. Like, he was miserable dieting.
Yeah.
And that has a lot to do with stuff, man. Yeah. I mean, that affects...
He said he likes this one because he can do it.
Totally.
He can be consistent with it.
He said the word several times, it's sustainable for him.
Yeah.
And if it's working for him, does that mean that you or I could do that with the same results? Mm-hmm. I guarantee you I could not.
Right.
I would get really fat.
Yeah.
But the intermittent fasting has a lot to probably do with that too. Because he's really, during that whole, you think about it, he probably has almost a 24-hour fasting period.
Right.
And so he's getting all that, what we call autophagy, where, cellular cleanup, a lot of the fasting benefits are coming into play for the metabolism, and then he refeeds.
Yeah.
So he's not getting into this big cortisol spike.
And it sounds like he has, zero processed sugar.
Right.
So there's some really good things.
Yeah.
He does have that acai bowl, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know what's in that. But look, man, again, I can't imagine how many calories the guy's burning.
I assume if he's flying in his pasta from Italy, he's probably using a decent quality acai.
I would assume.
Which is just berries. But
yeah, I would assume, but it depends on how you make that thing, of course, right?
But he's talking about training.
If you go full Bill Walker, I don't know how to.
Is that crazy though? He said he counted and it was like 7,000 calories.
Yeah. Do you remember hearing what Michael Phelps was eating?
Yeah.
Yeah, his was like crazy too.
Like 10,000 calories or something ridiculous.
But then it was something with how much in the pool he was in the pool. It was burning like 8,000.
Oh, just in his pool unbelievable. Workouts. Plus, not just during your workout, but the afterburns effect, so to speak. The metabolism is up significantly after that.
Yeah, you're burning even once you're out.
That's where a lot of it comes into play, too. So, no, I think Mikey's probably fueling, he has hit a sweet spot for him.
Yeah.
again, that's what's so individual about things. So when you ask what I think about that, like for me, that would be a disaster. But it's working for him, and it might work for some other people. But I think the unexplored part of that is the gut microbiome, because it changes over years with, depending on its composition, depending on what is being fed. Yeah. Certain things will grow and overgrow and, kind of change the composition to process, and it's actually an integral part in metabolism. And I've mentioned this before, where the mice studies where you've taken a group of obese mice and a group of lean mice, and then they just did a fecal transplant from the lean to the obese, no other changes, and the obese mice lost weight. So that shows you how powerful that gut microbiome is, at least in animal models. So there's probably a lot going on there that is very unique to him that you just can't. That's why you can't say, oh, so-and-so's doing this, so that must be the way to go.
Yeah, there's probably, he could optimize more, sure.
Yeah.
This or that, but he's found something that is working and it's not hurting him necessarily.
And I bet you his stress is really low. Right, he's not
because he's
just miserable. He's enjoying things. That's a huge part of health. Yeah. So good, more power to him as far as I'm concerned.